The importance of understanding bio-individuality becomes pretty clear when we start to look at our medical model. Because if a guy is not feeling well, he goes into the doctor and they're like, oh, well, let's draw your blood. Let's kind of see what's going on. And the doctor sits down and he's like, oh, look at that. Your blood is perfect. Everything's really lined up. Great job. And the guy's like, well, I don't feel right, and I have gills all of a sudden, and my ears are purple. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have gills. But your blood works great. Everything looks fantastic. You know, the gills, those are probably just in your head. So on the way out, you can grab a prescription for a medication, and the medication is made for crotch rashes, but it seems to work really great for people who think that they have gills. So just grab that. That's going to fix you up real nice. For now, your time is all up, and you're kind of cutting into the 7 minutes I'm supposed to spend with my next patient, so take care, bye-bye now. So the system might be slightly flawed, but when we're looking at blood work, and I'm going to explain this to you in a minute, and everything looks great, but the person's dealing with these symptoms, then the only thing left to do is look at the symptom. And this can create some real problems because most symptoms and issues and conditions that we deal with as humans have more than one possible underlying cause. So that's when we really need to understand that we are all operating differently. All of our bodies don't function the same way. And even if a person's like, oh, I don't want to use a medication, I want to use a natural solution to fix my problem. And you know, let's take insomnia for the perfect example. Because insomnia has like 4 or 5 possible underlying causes to it. And somebody's like, oh, I'm going to use a remedy to fix my insomnia. And like magnesium is a very popular remedy for insomnia. But the problem is, I'm not going to get into all the underlying causes here. So if you're like, wait a minute, what are the causes? I'll put a link in the description below for our video on real answers for better sleep. And I go into all depth into that. You can check that out if you need to. But I want you to understand that one of the causes for insomnia can be helped by taking magnesium, while another very common cause for insomnia can be made much worse by taking magnesium. You give this person magnesium, he's not going to sleep until Flag Day. And this also helps us understand why there is no diet that is right for every person. We're all supposed to be able to process glucose and fat for fuel, but the reality is that a lot of people's bodies are tending to burn glucose better than fat, and some people burn fat better than glucose. So if that's the case, how could there ever be a diet that's going to be perfect for every person? So what we need to understand is that to really have success, instead of looking at the symptoms or the issues that a person is dealing with, we need to look at the person. So in this video, I'm going to help you understand how to do that and how to use bio-individuality to start finding your own answers and to work with your body instead of against it. Let's jump in.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
So to understand why it can be problematic to base all of our decisions off of our blood work, we need to understand that the blood is a compensatory fluid in the body. And what that means is that the chemical makeup of that blood is very important to the body. The body prioritizes that over a lot of things. So the body will beg, borrow, and steal from other systems just to keep that blood in line. So when a person's feeling lousy and they're having all these problems, but their blood work looks perfect, it makes total sense. The body is making that the priority and taking from other systems and restricting those systems from functioning the way that they're supposed to function. So then we look at, oh, well, this nutrient is good for this problem and this nutrient is good for that problem. And so a person goes off of their symptom and they take this nutrient that's supposed to help improve that, and then they don't see any improvement. And they're like, oh man, I must just be stuck like this. Or they take this nutrient in like a multivitamin where it hardly has any in there and it's really not enough to create what we call a pushing dose. Because what's in a multivitamin is really not going to change body chemistry and change the way the body's functioning in any way. And so they're not going to really see any results. In the same regard, if a person takes a pushing dose of something that's going to push them the wrong direction, they're going to magnify their problems instead of seeing better results. So then these people just kind of feel like, this is just the cards that I was dealt and I'm just kind of stuck like this. But when we can look at other physiological markers, we can get ideas of systems and areas that are not going well and that are creating problems way before those problems would show up in the blood work. For a lot of people, by the time they see problems in the blood work, they're already in real trouble. So you can learn a lot more from just looking at your blood pressure than is it high or not? Did I get a passing score or should I pick up my prescription on the way home? You can gain a lot more information by looking at your blood pressure than just, do I have high blood pressure? You can get indications of how the body is operating and the amount of resources that are available for the body to function the way that it's supposed to function. So we like to look at things like blood pressure and urine and saliva pH and blood glucose and the rate at which we breathe. And when we look at all of these signs and signals, then we can get an idea of how the body is operating. And when I say looking at pHs, I just like to make sure people don't think that I'm talking about you need to alkalize or you're going to die. Those people are idiots and that's not what we're saying. But you can gain a lot about what's going on at the cellular level of the body by looking at the pHs of our urine and saliva. Even by just looking at your pulse, you can learn a lot more than just, do I have tachycardia or not? Your pulse can really tell you a lot about how your body is operating. And when we can understand what these measurements are telling us, then we don't have to blame high blood pressure for all of our health issues. Oh, you have this because you have high blood pressure. Well, why do I have high blood pressure? High blood pressure is not just a genetic thing like we're told. It can certainly be a factor, but we see people with high blood pressure all the time who fix it naturally and they didn't change their genetics, so we need to understand that there's more going on there. We need to stop blaming everything that, oh, well, I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I have all of these other problems. Well, why am I a type 2 diabetic? Why am I not processing sugar correctly? Why is my insulin not working the way that it's supposed to work? When you can look at these measurements and understand the underlying cause of the problem, well, now you have action that you can take. Maybe it's time that we just understand that, hey, maybe we're allowed to be participants in our own health. Maybe we don't have to have all of our health decisions dictated by someone who spends 8 minutes with us in their office. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't gain any insights by looking at our blood work. A lot of people gain a lot of very important insights. It can be very helpful. It just means that maybe we don't need to just sit on the sidelines and waiting for our doctor or professional to have some amazing epiphany, and we don't have to just sit around and wait for science to develop in pill form the solution for everything that's been going wrong in our body for the past 30 years. Maybe we just need to understand that we can change our situation if we just arm ourselves with knowledge and then change the choices that we're making to work with our body chemistry instead of against it. If we can understand what our body chemistry is saying and how our body is operating, then we can make diet and lifestyle choices that will alter that body chemistry and alter the way that our body is operating. So your days of researching remedies should really come to an end. Today, you should really start researching you. So it's really all about understanding how to run these simple self-tests that you can run at home using tools you pick up at a pharmacy or a health food store, and then just how to organize that information so that it makes sense and so that it gives you insights to the puzzle of how your body is operating. And my book, Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, will walk you through running those simple self-tests and how to organize it and how to look at it and understand what's going on. And the book is available on Amazon, but I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can get the whole thing totally for free. And it'll walk you through that process. And if you hate to read, we also have a totally free digestion course that'll walk you through how to run those self-tests at home, and we'll put the link to that free course down below as well. And if you're a health professional, my book Health Pro Results will walk you through how to use this bio-individuality with your clients to see a whole lot better results, and I'll put a link so you can get that book for free in the description below as well. So if this has made sense to you and given you any aha moments, then I'm going to give you 2 jobs. Job number 1 is to go down in the comments below and let us know what topics would you like us to cover from this bio-individual point of view. And then your job number 2 is to click on the subscribe button, because that helps more people find this video and find their answers. For now, a really important aspect of bio-individuality is how digestion is working and are there any digestive malfunctions. So jump over right now and watch our video on understanding digestive symptoms, and that'll give you more insights to understanding what's going wrong with digestion and steps you can take to improve it. I can't wait to hear about your results.